Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa, and you are watching Eyewitness News right here on the Wax on this first day of spring. Speaking of which, let's get right over to meteorologist Scott Gagliardi for a first check of your first alert forecast.
Yeah.
Well,
Happy
doesn't
spring.
really feel like spring out there right now.
It doesn't. Happy spring.
Happy spring.
We are exactly to the second 2 hours into spring.
Wow.
I know, right?
Does
5:01.
your attitude feel like lifted? Like, do you feel better? Like your
Yeah.
mood?
I mean, I try not to come in on
Right.
the mornings and having any type of attitude.
Yeah. No, you don't.
But
No, you don't.
sometimes.
You're always in good spirits.
I
It's true.
usually, yeah, I'd say so. You
But you're
too.
sassy on Fridays.
All bets are off on Friday. The weather looking pretty sassy out there. Could be worse. I mean, it's foggy, but temperatures, they're technically well above average. We should be closer to, say, 29, 30. Looking at 43 in New Haven, Hartford, where it's 42. Wind speeds are calm. There's a lot of fog out there. Mist and drizzle. We still have that flood warning from about, say, Hartford points south all the way through Old Saybrook. It's pretty typical for what we expect this time of year. Anybody who lives near the Connecticut River does plan for it, but still could cause some issues across parts of the state. First Alert Live radar scans the state dry, but there's a lot of mist and drizzle out there. The rainfall, that holds off until tonight. Right now, well out towards the west, but this line of rain will be making its way towards Connecticut. We can expect anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 of an inch of rain, and we'll take it. Wind speeds right now, they're generally calm out of the south, and then even some southwesterly and southeasterly directions, 5 to about 12 miles per hour in spots. The visibility poor, so take it slow out there. But we do have some more rain on the way, maybe a snowflake or two, as well as a cool down and a warm up. There's a lot going on. We'll have the latest details ahead in just a few minutes. Good morning, Kate.
All right, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. 7:02 here on your Thursday, heading out the door. Unfortunately, dealing with a couple of first alerts here across the state. First one in Portland, Route 17A is closed. We've got some water over the roadway. We've been talking about the river swelling all morning long here with a little bit of flooding. So this is closed at the intersection with Route 17. Make sure that you're avoiding the area there. That's a pretty popular, or I shouldn't say popular, but common area for that to happen. Also dealing with a crash here. First alert in Milford, 95 northbound between exits 34 and 35. The left and center lanes were blocked off, and within the last couple of seconds, it cleared. So that's a little bit of good news. We've gotten rid of that first alert here, but those road conditions, you can see a little bit of sheen on the roadways. We've got that mist and drizzle, and we definitely have that fog that's greeting us this morning, unfortunately, as we take a live look outside here in Plainville, West Hartford, Meriden, and in Middletown. Looking a little bit better through the Middletown area this morning, but just give yourself plenty of time as you're getting ready to head out the door. Your drive times all looking pretty typical. About 105-minute here, 95 southbound towards the George Washington Bridge. About a 30-minute ride into Hartford on 84 eastbound. Let's quick check your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, thanks, Kate. It is now 7:03, and 6 people are without a home this morning after a fire in New Haven. Now, the assistant fire chief says it happened last night on Glen Haven Road, and it started in a garage, and then it spread to the rest of the house. He said crews were able to get the flames under control in just about a half hour, and fortunately, no one was hurt.
Now to news breaking overnight. Houthis militants in Yemen are taking responsibility for a ballistic missile attack on Israel. Earlier today at the airport, people took cover as sirens warned travelers of an imminent attack. The group says this attack is in response to Israel's airstrikes in Gaza this week. Gaza's health ministry says those attacks have killed more than 400 Palestinians.
Also this morning in East Windsor, a man is being held on $1 million bond after police say he was driving drunk and caused a deadly crash. Now, we are told that the man was driving a van when he hit a bicyclist last night on Route 5, just north of Scantic Road. We learned that that bicyclist later died, and police arrested Valdemar Serrano Acevedo of Massachusetts after he failed the sobriety test. Happening today in an ongoing effort to block cuts to federally funded medical research through the National Institutes of Health. Some state lawmakers are trying to talk publicly about this and spread some awareness.
Your reporter Marcy Jones is giving us a better idea on who and what could be impacted.
That's right. Critics say that these cuts right now would really affect thousands of jobs right here in Connecticut. Plus, they're also concerned that this would impact the number of breakthroughs in scientific research. When it comes to cuts to federally funded medical research, the economical impact could be felt on the state level. In 2023, the NIH awarded $770 million in grant expenditures to Connecticut institutions. This in turn generated an estimated $1.6 billion in economic activity for Connecticut. Those who oppose the cuts say the funds have previously led to innovations in rare diseases, autism interventions, cancer treatments, and beyond. Previously, the NIH would negotiate rates for indirect costs with the individual institutions. Under the NIH's new policy, indirect costs would be capped at a flat rate of 15%. Earlier this month, a federal judge actually temporarily blocked the Trump administration's move to make these cuts while dozens of lawsuits were filed. In just about 3 hours, Senator Blumenthal is expected to make his remarks right here. So make sure you stay with us on Channel 3 for all of the latest. Your reporter in New Haven, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Our other top story this morning, classmates of the man allegedly held captive in Waterbury for decades are talking about the case to Channel 3. Former students who attended Barnard Elementary School say they have clear memories of the victim 20 years later.
He was very petite, skinny kid, shorter than the rest. What I also remember that really broke me last night, remembering of him, was that when it came down to getting ready to go home, I remembered he was always hesitant.
Kimberly Sullivan's arrest warrant shows the victim told police he was hungry all day, every day, for his entire life. Remember, he weighed just 68 pounds when fire crews rescued him from the Blake Street home last month, where he told police he started that fire to escape captivity. A conservator is now in charge of the victim's well-being as he recovers. Meanwhile, Sullivan is due back in court next week.
Today, President Trump is expected to sign an executive order calling for the shutdown of the U.S. Department of Education. That's according to a White House official. Now, the president has already promised to get rid of the department. And if you remember, after he confirmed Linda McMahon to lead the department, he was quoted saying that he wanted her to, quote, put herself out of a job.
Well, this morning, the madness of March will really ramp up as 16 games tip off throughout the day. But experts warn all that action can be overwhelming, especially for people who are addicted to gambling.
And your reporter, Roger Suzanne, has some more details from the sportsbook at the Excel Center in Hartford.
Good morning, ladies. You know, now that Connecticut has legalized sports gambling, it is easier than ever to place a wager. You can do it in a sports book like the one here in Hartford. You can even just do it right on your phone. And experts actually say more people will put their money on the line during the NCAA tournament than during the Super Bowl, which is absolutely incredible. Now, we did speak with experts from the Connecticut Council on Problem Gambling, and they do warn it can be easy to get carried away. So if you plan on making any wagers, set a game plan first. Decide exactly how much money you can safely afford to lose before you make any bets. And if you do ever feel like you're developing a gambling problem, call a helpline right away.
Set the limits and decide how much you're willing to risk. Because we tell people gamble within your means. So we just want to make sure that people understand how much they're gambling.
And if you do feel like you are developing a gambling problem, there are plenty of resources available. You can call 1-800-GAMBLER, or you can go to some live events that are happening this week, including one in Middletown at 10 a.m., hosted by Communicares on Washington Street. Reporting in Hartford this morning, I'm your reporter, Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Roger. And then happening today in Middletown, Communicare will be hosting an event at its new Better Choice Clinic to talk about problem gambling. This new clinic offers outpatient and counseling at little to no cost, all thanks to the State Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. Officials will share information about prevention, treatment, and recovery today at the DeCoven House right on Washington Street from 10 to 2. That's great that they have that.
Well, the first round of the men's tournament starts today at noon, while the UConn men have to wait until tomorrow to begin their quest for a third straight national championship. Our own Ivy League champs tip off today. Let's go Yale Bulldogs. They take on Texas A&M this afternoon at 3:45.
And as March Madness tips off on Channel 3 tonight and tomorrow, that doesn't mean that the news stops. While the games are happening at noon, 4, and 7, you can still watch Eyewitness News live right here on the Wax and on WFSB+. And now at 7:10, happening today, Lieutenant Governor Susan Bysiewicz will be joining local officials for a tour of women-owned businesses in Hartford.
Yeah, it's in celebration of Women's History Month, and it starts this morning at 10 at B-Tone Fitness on Pearl Street. Let's get fit, Scott. Oh, I'm still sore from the other day.
Susan Bysiewicz.
Yeah,
nice.
She's a fan of
Your
yours.
girl.
I'm a fan of her. I'm a very big
Okay.
fan. Yes, I always have been. Excellent event there. As far as what we're dealing with outside today, look at this fog out there. This is in Mystic. The Mystic River there, completely calm. But temperatures, yeah, they're mild. I mean, you're going to step outside, you need a jacket or a sweatshirt, but this is well above average by a good 10 to 15 degrees. We're up anywhere from, say, 10 to 15 degrees from where we were this time yesterday. Willimantic right now, 15 degrees more mild. Your hour-by-hour forecast, we stay cloudy, drizzly, and misty today, but we're not expecting any rainfall until the overnight hours. Temperatures peaking in those mid-50s. Your weather headlines, we're seeing that mist and drizzle today. Overnight rain, maybe a snowflake, emphasis on the flake in the hills tomorrow morning, and then breezy tomorrow as well as quite chilly. We'll detail exactly how chilly it gets and if there's any warm up on the way. That's ahead in your First Alert forecast.